Good morning, Julian McBain here, and as you can see today, we're in Entropia Universe. This is going to be a little bit different than my normal video because we're not really here to display a hunt, or I'm going to be doing hunting, but I'm not here to display a hunt or anything like that. It's more, I kind of want to just take a few minutes and discuss what my first 6 months as a content creator has been like, because it's been an adventure. And I know that there's plenty of people out there who have, looked at being a content creator or toyed with the idea, and I just kind of wanted to take a few minutes to talk about my experiences with it in these first 6 months, because I started this at the end of June, right? So technically my full 6 months would actually I think my first real release date was on June 25th, so I'm not going to release this on Christmas. No one's going to watch it, because you'll all be with your families, which is the way it should be. But I did want to kind of go through my first 6 months as a content creator and what it's been like, so that if you are thinking about starting a channel where you're doing content creation on the regular, or even just sporadically, you know what you're getting yourself into. Because I'm here to tell you, I had no clue. This video is also kind of unique because I'm doing this at 7:30 on a weekday, which is definitely not my normal game time. In about 35 or 40 minutes, I have to get going to my day job. So normally at this time, I'm trying to do some sort of an enrichment activity, learning something, or I'm reading or watching the news so I can catch up on current events before I go to work. But this has been on my mind for a little bit, and I wanted to get it done. And I know if I don't do it, it's going to be on my mind all day at work. So I'm going to do it now. So yeah, 6 months. It's been interesting. It's been an adventure, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I've really enjoyed it. I'm continuing to enjoy it, and I'm going to continue making content. And I think that keeping Entropia Universe as the core of my content creation is going to continue to be one of the key drivers for this channel. And I think the reason for that is because there has been for a long time. There are never many Entropia Universe content creators at any given time, right? I'll have a couple that are creating content on Twitch regularly. You'll have a couple who are creating content on YouTube regularly. But, I mean, looking around, there's 3 or 4 of us here on YouTube that create content on the regular with commentary. There are some who just, post videos of a single hunt or do silent content creation, and there's a market for that. There's nothing wrong with that. But as for more curated content where there's commentary going on and you kind of get to see the reaction of the player as they do the work, there's not many of us out there. And so, despite the fact that I may not be the best of content creators, I'd like to think that I've definitely learned a lot in the last 6 months. But although I may not be the best of content creators, I would like to see this continue, because I think that there's a market for it, and I think that there is a need for it, and I really enjoy doing it, to be frank. So I'm going to do that. Now, currently I am, this is an offshoot, which is why it's actually being posted on a Saturday, as opposed to during my regular Entropia Universe schedule. So tomorrow I should be releasing part 3 of the Arcadia beginner missions, and that is going to continue to be an important part of my channel, is looking for quest chains that I can post in a series so that players can watch and review and see me bumble around, so they don't necessarily have to. I'm here on Arcadia. I'm going to be releasing part 3. I've got to do part 3. I'll probably do that tonight or tomorrow, but I'm going to be releasing part 3 on Sunday and part 4, and I don't know if there's going to be a part 5 or if I'm going to finish it in part 4. It's going to depend on what the rest of this quest chain consists of, because currently it's been one hell of a courier quest, right? But I did the missions on Cyrene to the extent I could. I was really hoping to be able to do that better, but a glitch kind of stopped that from happening. I do eventually want to go to Toulon and Next Island and Monvia and do their starter missions. I think that will be worthwhile, and I don't know what order I'm going to do those in. There's a lot of things that I want to explore in the Entropia Universe, and Entropia Universe is huge. So it's not like I'm going to be able to do all the content in a year. And there's more to playing this game than just doing quest chains. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it slow and just kind of figure out things as I go and visit various plants. Like currently I've been, with the exception of the, oh, that was a really nice drop, 15.92. It's a good hunting area. But anyway, you know, taking the time to do beginner missions so that people starting on every planet pretty much know what they're getting themselves into, and doing some of the quest chains, I think it's going to be entertaining. I hope it's entertaining for you guys. I think it's going to be entertaining for me, definitely. And just, you know, moving with it like that. Now, as for the rest of my channel, you know, I've been kind of going with a variety of content, and you know, Entropia Universe is the core of my channel, and 2 videos of that release every single week. And then I've been working on We Happy Few, which is a longer RPG that's very complex, has a deep storyline. And that's been fun. But recently I'm on the last 2 levels of Crash Bandicoot. I suspect I'll be finishing up recording of that game this weekend. And I'll be beginning with Crash 2. And that's going to turn out to be 13 episodes. And I've already uploaded, in fact, before this video comes out, today's Friday, in about an hour and a half, my first Crash Bandicoot video is going to post. They're uploaded, but they're on schedule, right? So that's scheduled to post today, or for you viewing yesterday. And that's going to start another piece of my channel. So here is my theory, and it will be like this until I get through some of the games I really want to get through and record for you. One game on my channel is going to be either a really in-depth and involved game, or it's going to be an immediately relevant game, or both, right? So We Happy Few, I started doing content for the channel. I was doing EU content. I was contemplating what for one-player game I would start with, and I was kind of vacillating between BioShock and a couple of other retro games, or like Deathwing, which is a really fun game, but it's very involved, and you know, I mean, each mission of Deathwing is approximately 2.5 hours, so that's definitely not a game that you just sit down and play for half an hour and you can take a break. It's just not the way it works. That would definitely be an interesting game to try to create content for, because I would have to stop in the middle of it. But I think for the time being, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have that one longer game. And what's going to come after We Happy Few, I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm going to look to see what the landscape looks like at the time that I finish that game. I still have quite a bit to go. I'm definitely getting closer to the end, but I don't know by how much. And I'm avoiding getting too deep into another channel's playthrough of it, just so that I don't ruin it for myself, because I really want to experience this as blind as possible, you know what I'm saying? So when that ends, I'll take a look at the landscape. I'll see what my finances are like, because I have a life. No, honestly, I do. You know, I've got family, and I've got obligations, which, you know, when you're starting out on a channel like this, it's one of the more difficult things to balance. Is you've got work, and you've got family, and you're trying to start a channel, and it's the dichotomy, the balancing act can be interesting sometimes. So I'll just have to see where I'm at that time, and I'm kind of vacillating between 2 games to be the follow-up. I want to do a playthrough of Subnautica. I know that's not immediately relevant anymore, but they've got Below Zero coming out, and I would love to play that when it first drops, when the full version first drops, and I know they're going into early access here pretty quick. But I want to wait until the full version drops before I start playing it, because as someone who loves to beta and alpha test things, right, I love to play these games when they're in that semi-stable state. They're playable, but you know, bugs happen, which is why I don't mind playing on Cyrene, because I honestly think that Cyrene kind of dropped, and it was there, and it was in a beta state, kind of like the Arcadia Moon, but they never actually finished it, which is kind of a shame, because I think there's a lot of potential there that they missed out on. But I don't want to release content for a game in early access necessarily, because sometimes when these bugs do happen, when you run into these issues, it can be very frustrating, and then suddenly, apropos of nothing, the videos stop coming because, well, game-breaking crash, and now you got to start all over. And that's no fun, having to watch the same content over and over again. So I'll have to make a decision when the time comes on where I'm going to go with that. The other option besides Subnautica is Talos Principle. And the reason this one has crossed my mind, because it's another longer involved game. It's a puzzle game for those of you who have never played it. And I've gotten through, so there's a number of towers that you go through in Talos Principle, and I've gotten through the first one. So that would not be a completely blind, neither of these games would be a completely blind run. I haven't beaten either of them, and I can't even say I've gotten all that deep into either of them yet. So it's not like I would be going in with a huge amount of experience in it, but it wouldn't be blind by any stretch of the imagination. I've been watching a lot of psychology and philosophy and things like that. And of course, I recently became a Master Mason, and that's all about morality plays and, learning how to be a better person. So I kind of want to do it just so I can get that philosophical itch scratched. But at the same time, I don't know. The last time I played it, it's a great game. It is a great game. The scenery is beautiful. The mechanics of it get complicated as things go. And I don't mean complicated in the sense that, in WoW you've got floor effects and, beams and crap like that. No, I'm talking like trying to figure out how to solve a puzzle by pre-solving the puzzle, which gets really deep. But there are times I'll sit there and it's very similar to like me trying to, I got a Fen token, awesome. Since you've never actually seen me have to solve difficult puzzles, because I love puzzles. I love puzzle games. I like to do programming. One of my favorite things to do when I'm programming is figure out why the code doesn't work, right? But as my fiance could tell you, me trying to figure out how the code doesn't work is me staring at the screen until it all makes sense. And me staring at the screen in a video game where you, one, can't see my face, and two, can't figure out what I'm doing is going to be boring as hell. So I'm not sure Talos Principle is a very good game for me to do for video. I'm eventually going to play it anyway, whether I make videos of it or not. But since I have zero video editing skill, me being able to edit out those periods of silence and staring where I'm trying to figure out what I'm missing wouldn't be very entertaining. And so that's my one concern about doing that game. But as a whole, I think that there's a depth to that game that I have yet to tap, and I would love to explore that with you, kind of go on that adventure with you and just see where it takes us. As for other games, of course, I'm doing the Crash Bandicoot series. This is kind of my retro. I want to do a retro game if possible, and by retro I mean like we're talking PS1 era retro. Okay, PS2 era retro. We're not talking retro 5 years ago. So my plan is for that. I've got the Crash Bandicoot series. It's for the life of me, I can't remember what they called the remaster, but it's the Crash remaster. And I've got, like I said, the first episode of that dropped yesterday, and that should go for the next 6-ish weeks. It'll be like 6.5 because there's 13 videos, and I'm releasing 2 videos a week, and that should be on Tuesdays and Fridays. So now I'm releasing content 6 out of 7 days, and I don't gotta tell you just what kind of a time commitment that's been, but I've enjoyed it. And so once that's done, I'll start working on Crash 2 and thereafter Crash 3. After I'm done with the 3 Crashes, I'm going to be picking up the Spyro the Dragon series. And for those of you who are looking at me funny now, or looking at your screen funny because it's a quote-unquote kids game, no, it is, but it isn't. There's a lot of... It's still a precision platform. There's a lot of challenge to it. I found it very whimsical and fun, and honestly, there are times I just play games for the nostalgia. You know what I'm saying? Simpler times. And Spyro was meant to be kind of a whimsical game, and so I'm really looking forward to being able to play it again. in this brand new graphical setting, because I mean it was state of the art when it came out 15-20 years ago. No, I think it was, yeah, Spyro must have come out 20 or so years ago. Am I that old? I think I am. Hey, hang on, I actually want to check this out. The benefits of having a second computer to look at. 98, so it's been, holy buckets, it's been exactly 20 years. Yeah, exactly 20 years. So it came out my freshman year of high school. And so, and I mean at the time, that was like the graphical king. PS1. Couldn't be beat. Xbox didn't exist yet, at least I don't think it did. No, I'm pretty sure Xbox was competitor to the PS2. You know, the only other contender in town was Nintendo, and I don't even think the GameCube was out yet. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they've done with Spyro and all of the things that they've done to make it, you know, to make that difference. And I know they've made some changes due to modern politics and crap like that. And I'm not going to get into it, but I'll deal with the things that have changed, and I'll enjoy the things that have stayed the same, and we'll see where it goes. After Spyro, I don't know. I mean, quite frankly, if each crash is 6 weeks, 6, 12, 18 weeks of content there, you know, that's easily, it's more than a quarter. And if Spyro takes the same, which I actually think it'll take longer, because I think each Spyro actually gets close to 10 hours worth of gameplay. And with Crash, as I'm sure you figured out, I didn't just post 100% constant content with that game. Because I'm not going to post the 5 hours of life farming I had to do in order to make sure that I could get through a level before I ran out of lives, and even that didn't necessarily work out the way I wanted it to. No, this could be bad. Come on. Almost there. There we go. Sometimes that's just the way it works, you know. You do what you can, you work through it, but it isn't necessarily going to be perfect. And again, since I have no video editing capability, I worked with what I had. So if I do have to go life farming, it'll be the same, which the last time I played Spyro I did. It'll be the same thing. You know, any new content that I'm going to put out, I'll make sure to post, and any content that I can't, you know, if I have to repeat levels over and over, not necessarily for MacGuffins, like I'm going to end up finishing Crash at 60% complete or 62% completion, because they've added all kinds of, or maybe there were cookies at the time and I didn't notice, but I didn't play all the way through Crash on the first time. But I don't know if I will go for 100% in Spyro like I did that one time, because it often requires a lot of repetition, and I don't know how entertaining that's going to be. But maybe, because I'm now at 6 days of content, right? And so trying to figure out what I can do for that 7th day, because YouTube really rewards consistency, and there's a certain wisdom in posting every day. There's a certain wisdom in not. And I'd love to hear what your opinions on the matter are. I mean, please drop a comment down below and let me know what your opinions on the matter are, because I don't want to spam all you guys. And I know some of the professional content creators, they'll put out 2, 3, 4 videos a day. Christopher Odd. You know, if you haven't checked his channel out, go check his channel out. He's awesome. Excuse me. But just trying to sort out what I'll be doing for that 7th day, and like one of the things I kind of want to do is I want to reserve for announcements like this. So anytime that I have, well, not announcements, but like check-ins. So I'll definitely be reserving a period of time. You know, if something like this is going to come out, it's going to supersede what was before, and I'll just push everything else back. But maybe I'll use day 7 for like replays or going for 100% completion in a retro game like Spyro or Crash or something of that matter, where you know it's going to be repetitious, where you know it's going to be content you've seen before, but it's retrying it or doing time trial or something like that. And maybe that's what I'll do. That wouldn't be a bad idea. So I'll think about that for a little bit. So just how well is the channel doing? Considering the slow build-up of content and the fact that I used a more obscure game as my first one-player experience, I think it's doing rather well. You know, the first 6 months have been interesting as I've developed a schedule for myself and tried to figure out how I'm going to fit this into my not unbusy life. But in the last, so I can give you the last 365, and I know it's not going to be a huge difference from what it was before I started, because I started with a handful of watch time minutes. I think I had like 400 or 500 watch time minutes when I started this adventure, and I had 5 subscribers, and I could even give you their names. In fact, I don't even need to give you their names, because they're all the participants in my WoW videos. So go watch my WoW videos and you'll hear all the names, because that was the original reason I set up a YouTube channel. It wasn't for necessarily content creation, it was to... Oh, that was a nice drop. It was for my guild to review the runs that we were doing so we could get better at it and maybe start challenging higher levels. But in the last 6 months, and I want to thank everyone for this, okay? I'm at 7,600. Oh, whoops. Let's actually, hit him with something that's going to do damage. 7,600 watch time minutes. Thank you. It's 126 watch hours, which puts me on my way to becoming a partner, a YouTube partner. Thank you so much. I have 1,300 views, and I know some of those are 1 minute long, and others are much longer than that. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I'm up 27 subscribers, and those are all not guild members, because I already accounted for the 5, because I've got 32 total, and I have 27 new ones, because all 5 of them subscribed before the beginning of this year. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me on this adventure, and I'm really looking forward to growing this channel and community even more. And I need to shout out to a couple of people who have helped by giving me a shout out on their channel. So a huge thank you to Serial Overdrive. Make sure you check him out. He's my society leader, and he creates great content on both YouTube and Twitch. His videos tend to be shorter than mine, but he has a lot more expertise about the game than I do, and so he can be a lot more concise. So go check his channel out if you're not already subscribed to him. The other person I want to thank is Lore Spade, who has also shouted me out on his live streams on YouTube. He does not do Twitch. He uses the YouTube live stream function, which I think is a good thing. I think that it's very important, because YouTube just started their live stream, and I think it's a very untapped market. So please go check out his content as well. He does a lot of Entropia Universe. I think he's taking a break right now from Entropia Universe, but he's doing Fallout 76, and those are very entertaining, so please go check him out. So, yeah, I think I'm going to be drawing this here to a close in a minute. I just want to thank again all of you, my viewers, and especially my subscribers, for joining me on this journey. It's been quite an adventure. I'm looking forward to the next year. And again, the reason I'm doing it at this time period is because my 6-month anniversary happens to fall on the holidays, and I'm not going to have the time or the inclination to try to produce a video between family functions. I mean, that's just life, so I'm probably going to be doing a huge content upload in the next week and a half, trying to make sure I'm filled out for December so that I don't have to worry about it until January. It's not that I'm not going to be playing, but I don't want to have to be pushed to make a video between all the family functions, kind of like during Thanksgiving. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to plan ahead. I'm going to figure out how to get this content made so that you've got something to watch through the holidays if you need a break from whatever it is you're doing. But I'm not going to be producing content in that time frame. So the other thing is that I've been in Entropia Universe for a year. As of December 3rd, I think was my anniversary date, so that's exciting. This has also been a great adventure. I'm really enjoying the game. The way that I've played has changed dramatically from day one, where I tried playing Entropia Universe more as a traditional MMORPG, which of course is, any veteran player will tell you, any player who's played for more than a day or two will tell you that doesn't really work. So I've really enjoyed the adventure, and I'm looking forward to another year here. In my first year, I've visited 3 planets, and that's huge. I've been to Calypso, of course. That's where I started out, and then I moved on to Cyrene in September. I think I went there in September, because I spent a month there. I can always go back and look, but it's not very important right now. And now I'm here on Arcadia, and I'm going to get these Arcadia starter missions finished up. In the coming year, I'd like to hit the other 3 planets, Monria, Toulon, and Next Island. We'll see how that goes. The other thing I want to do is I want to go back to Cyrene. I really liked Cyrene, and it's not... And I think the main reason I like Cyrene is because it's not just because the loot pool, as you know, the raw loot pool is a bit better on Cyrene without it being quite as volatile as on Arcadia, but I think there's a lot of undeveloped potential there. I think there might be some hidden gems on Cyrene that I'd love to check out. Oh yeah, and I guess I need to visit Rocktrobia at some point. I've landed on the planet, but we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure revisiting my life in the 80s is going to be in the early 90s is going to be what I want to go for, but I was a kid back then, so we'll see what happens. So I think that's going to be in the cards. I'm going to try to visit most of the other planets in the Entropia Universe this coming year. I'm going to continue to create content. I'm going to get through the crashes. I'm going to get through the Spyros. I think I can do all of that in the first half of the year or so. I don't know how long Crash 3 is, and I don't know how long Spyros 2 and 3 are. So those could be longer than the first 2 games of Crash and the first game of Spyro. But I think my estimated time for each of those games is roughly 8 to 10 hours of good curated gameplay with some time for life farming. We're gonna get through We Happy Few, and probably move on to one of the 2 games I mentioned, unless something spectacular comes out, in which case I'll do that first. And then we'll figure out what we're going to do on Saturdays on the regular. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself out of this situation. Let's figure out where I am here. Yeah, I think this is the area that the safety area is. So we're just going to kind of walk ourselves out of it, because my time is almost up. It's drawing near 8 o'clock, and I need to make sure that I have plenty of time to finish getting ready for work. Maybe stop for some breakfast, because I haven't eaten this morning. We're probably going to have to take that cat out. Yep, we are. Okay, that works. I mean, as you can see, this is not... I didn't do all this morning. This was mostly from last night and the night before. So when I'm not doing, controlled cost hunts, I just come out here and I have some fun. And I actually need to go back to Cali at some point and pick up a new sword, because I be running low. I did discover something. Buchan's spare rifle has a much longer range than the Arcadia TT sword. So that wasn't something I thought about. And I also splurged a little bit. I don't know if I showed this in a previous video, but I finally bought myself a scope, because I got tired of not being able to see things before I went after them. That was a real issue when I was doing the swinting of the Noosels in order to get the passport, of which I might... it's another month of doing it, but I know of someone else who wants to do the Arcadia passport series just for the experience, and I don't know that they want to deal with doing the sweat, and I don't blame them. And since I enjoy getting the evade skills, and on a low-key evening, it's, swinting doesn't bother me. I'll do swinting in a low-key evening. I'll do it for many low-key evenings. I had a great low-key month doing it. I might do that. But Anyway, so I'm safe now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe down below. Hit the notification bell so you know when my content drops, which frankly at this point is pretty much going to be every day. I especially want to thank my subscribers who have decided that they want to join me on the regular on this journey. It's been fantastic so far. I'm looking forward to another great year. So please come and watch. You all, everybody, thank you one more time. You all have a wonderful weekend.